everyone, we are live. Hi guys, I'm Ione and I'm the founder of Uplifting Content. Today I have a special guest who's just a really good friend too, the wonderful Adam Siddiq. Hi Adam, how's it going?
Hi, Ione. It's great. Great to be here.
Yay! Adam is one of my favorite people in the world. He's an incredibly generous, giving soul that likes to connect everybody with everybody, people who are on a similar mission to help and uplift and inspire people. And he just loves bringing people together. And so I'm so happy for you all to meet him. He actually participated in our Uplifting Content Summit, was one of the guests that we had on that. And today we're going to talk about a book that he's been working on for just the whole time that I've known you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you've worked your butt off for that. SHACKLED. So yeah, first of all, welcome. Care to share, your story and stuff about the book?
Yeah, totally. Actually, you mentioned the connecting people together. It's just a funny thing to think about. Almost every year I was in high school and college, I won an award. It was made by my friends. It was called the Wingman of the Year Award. And they convinced me, they're like, you're really good at this. Like, I girls and guys, everybody, I was able to, straight or gay, doesn't matter. I was able to connect people.
Wait, Adam, you've seen my boyfriend search. Why haven't you been my wingman?
Because I got way too high of a standard for you. I have to it's got to be.
You're really working hard on it?
Yeah, there's no one in the world right now that I know of personally that I'm going to introduce to Ione right now.
Oh, I love you so much.
I'll put it this way. If I have not connected you with someone, it means that the standards I have set are ridiculous and off the charts.
Wow. And you know some pretty remarkable people. So I love you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I never knew they gave you an award for Wingman of the Year. That's fantastic.
They actually, here's where it gets more interesting. They convinced me, and I was so convinced that I was so good at doing this that they're like, you should start even I think my parents were like, you should start a business where you're like a wingman, like a professional wingman. And I always thought about it. I was like, no, I'm just generous. I just do it when I can for people. I like to see people connect with each other.
Yeah.
And I think it probably goes back to when I was like one or two.
Oh dear, what have I done?
What happened?
Sorry, I was trying to see the comments, and then so I muted it, and then I muted our conversation.
Oh, no worries.
Figure myself out. So sorry.
Okay.
So you do it just for the love of it, and you didn't want to make a business out of it.
Yeah, but then one year, and I can't remember exactly when. It might have been 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I don't know when. Might have been 3 years ago. I got really curious, and I was like, wait a minute. Maybe just for fun, I can see if I could do this as a part-time gig. And there's a company, I can't remember the name exactly. It starts with a T. It's like a startup, and that's what they do.
Tesla.
Is they have not Tesla, yeah, Tesla, right?
No longer a startup. My bad. That's too.
That would be interesting if Tesla brand went into this kind of market, wouldn't it? It's like connecting green energy people.
I would date someone in that field.
Yeah, I think there is another site that does something like that. I wrote an article for them, Meet Mindful or something.
Yes, I've seen that. It's for spiritual people.
Yeah. There's all sorts of things, right? And and it's always been in the back of my mind since I was 16 years old. I'm like, I want to create some sort of app or website that it's not just for matchmaking in terms of dating, but it's the best friend for the world. How can it could be your best friend and connect you with the right people for whether it's business or fun or, just social or dating.
The world needs that. So when I was traveling on my own last year in South America, I would show up at places. I mean, the main way is to be in hostels, but I don't really like sleeping in hostels.
Yeah, totally.
And I was just I want somewhere. Why is there not an app? I mean, there were some apps. There's some apps being developed, but they don't have a following enough for it to work.
Yeah.
Why is there not a thing which is hey, I'm a chick in Colombia right now. Is anybody around that wants to go and grab dinner?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
The closest thing, and we're talking about years ago before Facebook and everything started creating groups. The closest thing I ever found to that was maybe couch surfing when it came to traveling.
Yeah.
But and a lot of people had really awesome experience, but I didn't really feel like it's you can get it like that. What if you can find someone cool to hang out with as fast as you can get an Uber ride.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, like the Uber for meeting people.
Right. And then, I talk about a lot of people, to talk to a lot of people on here and started doing these Facebook Lives to connect with people. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel lonely, or that there's not somebody that they can reach out to. And I myself feel that way sometimes too. And so you're right, just having an app where it's like, and then reviewed people, so you know that someone's not a douchebag.
Yes, that was part of it. Yeah.
You know that somebody's like, they're genuine, they show up when they say they will, they're safe and reliable.
Totally.
And then so that you can like genuinely make connections.
Yeah.
I think, dude, right, let's
you've re-inspired me. We're gonna look into doing this now.
I'm definitely down. So fantastic. And you've got the skills, so
it would be fun. Yeah, because I feel like, the only thing that I feel like I put all my trust in, like when it comes to connecting meetings, like my saying is like, serendipity is my tour guide, synchronicity is my planner. So I just like focus on like the indescribable forces of the universe to guide us. The Force, like Luke Skywalker would say.
I love it.
But it would be nice to have an app too.
So I've got a question from Javid. Hello, everyone, by the way. Comment, leave questions, say hi. We're giving away 4 copies of Adam's book, Shackled. I've got a cool question from Javid, which is, what is spirituality according to you, Adam?
Oh, wow. Good question. I think, to me, like, I feel like spirituality is a lot simpler than it sounds or makes. I don't think it takes weeks or months or years, and I don't think it's achievable to achieve it. I feel like everything is spiritual. Like everything is made from, and I can't explain, I can't understand it, but from some.
Wait a second. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I got cut out.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. I feel like to sum it up really short, I feel like spirituality is really about love, caring, generosity, giving. I feel like this is all like naturally what the soul wants to do. Rumi has this incredible verse. He says, love risks everything and asks for nothing. And like, that's what I feel. Actually, I wanted to bring up another Rumi quote with about the loneliness thing. I read it like a few years ago when I was feeling super lonely in Australia. And he said, don't feel lonely. The entire universe is within you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's deep.
So it is deep. So for anyone that doesn't know, Adam also has a Facebook page of Rumi quotes and videos, and we'll link to it. And it's beautiful because you're pretty obsessed with Rumi, right?
I want to be. So I feel like Rumi. So like the person, and I'm forgetting his name right now.
What's the name of your page, babe? I'm just gonna.
My page is Rumi Quotes Official.
Okay. I'm just gonna link to it too. So
we're the official one.
Ooh, he endorsed it himself.
I just picked it because Rumi Quotes was taken already.
Could you imagine trying to get that tick? No, Rumi said that I could have it.
I actually was. I did. I sent him a message.
You submitted it.
I did. I thought it would get the check mark. It didn't work.
Man, people on Facebook are not that stupid.
I know.
He died a long time ago. You don't own the rights to Rumi Quotes Official.
Yeah. Well, Rumi was Afghan.
Oh,
he's from northern Afghanistan. So I'm like trying
there might be some kind of
I'm trying to claim some relationship. Like I'm a great, a super great nephew.
There's probably some of his blood in you somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
I mean, we've all got it, yeah.
We do, yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. So, right, you were saying like, I want to be Rumi. What was it? We were trying to.
I want to help. I really want to help expand Rumi's legacy. On a personal level, I really want to do it. I want to get Rumi out to 3 billion people, not necessarily like 3 billion views or listens, like 3 billion people on the planet. So I want to translate everything that Rumi has done in every single language in the world. I want to bring other voices to bring his poems to life. So there's voice. I want to bring video into it. I just want to ultimately get Rumi out to the whole world.
Yeah.
I can't even describe a why behind it. It's just like I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
And I've committed myself to me personally recording every single poem that Rumi's ever written. I think there's at least a couple thousand of them in English, and then getting every single poem translated. Right now, my grandpa's doing it in Farsi. Wow. It's the original language that Rumi wrote all the poems in.
So wait, are they not already in that language then?
Yeah, so they're already, but just they have not every single poem has been
translated to English.
No, I think no. Actually, they're still working on it. It's crazy because he wrote so many massive volumes. Jawed Mojadedi, he's written translated the book of Masnavi. He's done 4 of them so far, and there's like 10 of them. It takes him a lot of time to translate this and get the correct translation, but nobody's ever brought in Rumi to voice so much. Like there's Afghan and Persian singers that have made songs. My grandpa's actually composed a lot of the songs for some of the most famous singers in Afghanistan and Iran using poems of Rumi. Pakistani singers, people around the world also have done it, brought Rumi into things. Deepak Chopra had something big. He did like him and Madonna and Mila Jovovich and I think Antonio Banderas and like a number of other celebrities all spoke the poems of Rumi, English and French and Spanish and like their respective languages. But they did like 2 or 3 albums. Coleman Barks is the guy who's really, I would say he brought Rumi to the Western world, not just America. He helped modernize the poems and rendered them. So when Rumi writes a poem, it's like super long. Like my grandpa recorded one the other day. It was like 15 minutes of just pure talking. Wow. Coleman Barks was able to make it short, sweet, and get the essence of what Rumi was saying. So like a lot of the quotes that you see on that page and that you see shared around of Rumi, the same, don't feel lonely, the entire universe is within you. This is a small verse of a major poem that Rumi's written that Coleman Barks has taken. So
beautiful.
Yeah. I love
it. You are a Rumi fan.
Yeah, a Rumi fanatic. I have a T-shirt that says "I heart Rumi." I was trying to see.
Good for you.
I'm trying to get Rumi to be a physical location on Instagram tags.
Wait, where would he be?
Just
wherever you are.
Well, he would be actually. He would say that out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. So I'd say Rumi's in that field.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That field to me would be in Oregon at the eclipse, where I watched the eclipse in Oregon. That reminds me of that field.
I actually tagged that.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we've got some questions. Leo's awesome. He's always on chat. So hi, darling. He says, why is it so hard to meet your tribe? I mean, you put out good energy and you try your best to be a friend, but it's like you're a jerk magnet.
A jerk magnet?
Yeah, so I don't know that that's related to everybody, but I think that's what Leo is going through right now. Any comments on, like, have you ever struggled finding your tribe, Adam? And any advice on helping people do that?
Yeah, I mean, I struggled like pretty much all my young childhood life. I couldn't speak English. I didn't understand American culture. First 6 weeks I was in elementary school, I spent all the time on the monkey bars because I didn't understand the class, like the bell. I didn't understand that I might go to class. So I just kept going to the monkey bars. I was inspired to like master the monkey bars and be the king of the monkey bars. Right. I broke my hands on those monkey bars, broke my wrist actually. My connecting way to get into American culture was through seeing somebody holding a Pokemon card one day, and then I got involved. I feel like to find your tribe, everything comes down to relationships, all about relating with people, right? Obviously, we're going to have disagreements and differences, and that's where I think a lot of the value and the variety and the beauty of life is found, in that the polarities and the differences. If you embrace them, not use it as an exclusionary kind of thing. But relationship, really, I feel like it always happens when two people connect, they meet on a similar level. They share something in common. They share a passion or something like that. I think if you feel like you keep meeting jerks, and this is going to sound like, some third grade advice right here, I would just go and hang out with other people. Like, I think it's really simple. I think, I don't know what it is. I kind of wish there's like some interaction, because I'd like to get to know who you are, what you do. I could maybe even, maybe I could.
Send us some more information, Olio, because I 100% agree with you too. When I first moved to LA, everybody would say to me, "Oh, LA's full of flaky people. LA's full of douchebags. LA, blah 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 blah." Yeah. Yes, there's a lot of douchey people in LA. I don't entertain them. If I keep trying to make plans with somebody and they keep not showing up, then I just don't keep trying to entertain them.
Absolutely.
If they're rude or self-centered, or just like, it's a street, they just talk about themselves and have no interest in seeing how I am ever, I don't entertain them. And so I don't have a problem. I don't attract jerks, because when I see them and experience them, I move on to people that, like you, full of joy, loving, kind people that I do get on with. So, Olio, I would say, I love you, Adam. I genuinely love you.
Love you too.
Love you so much, man. Olio, I would say it's like just seeing things, and if it doesn't feel right, being okay with moving on. And like Adam said, like, I knew people. That's the thing that I was, for my boyfriend video, for anyone that doesn't know, I've been putting videos out about finding a boyfriend. And one of them was about, going fishing, being in the places where I know there's people that I want to be. So if you're meeting a lot of jerks, where are you meeting these people? Go to other places if they're full of jerks where you're going. And then I think I've spoken to Olio before, and he was saying that the area that he's in is quite isolated. There's not much of a community. And so then I was saying, you either need to get out, make the effort to get out of that community, or actively look for people online that are part of communities that you can connect with online, with the intention of meeting in person at some point.
That's the cool thing with online, is that it makes distance irrelevant. You can talk to, connect with people all around the world. I know you have a community page on your page, like a group. So I would recommend joining that group and connecting with the people that are a part of the uplifting community.
Definitely. That was the purpose of the group, is so that you guys could connect with each other. And I don't know if it's happening very much. I haven't been actively working on it, but that was the intention. But it takes people stepping up and going, hey, who wants to talk? Who wants to jump on a call? Who wants to, what's going on?
I'm just thinking about how I set an official ticker to Facebook. Sorry, it just came back into my mind.
Adam just had like a random thing. We were joking about his...
I was trying to hold back my smile and listen, but it's just like, I can't believe I did that.
You're stupid, and I love it. Adam has a page. He's obsessed with Rumi, and he's called it Rumi Quotes Official, as if somehow putting official on it made it official. And he tried to get verified on Facebook, as if Facebook would think that he was Rumi and would do that. Anyway, it's very, very funny.
I'm going to show up at their headquarters. I'm going to get that ticker.
I'm Rumi's great nephew. And I'm going to read some of these comments. Keep giving us comments. We're going to send you a copy of Adam's book, which we need to talk about. We haven't talked about that yet.
Oh yeah, we could get to that.
Olio says, while trying online, your advice made sense. Can you suggest some websites? Ooh, yeah. Meetup is something that I have used in the past. Meetup is basically a website or an app, and it's based on people that have different interests, whether you are like hiking or dog walking or movies or whatever your interest is, art, galleries. And then it's groups of people that get together to do things like that. The Uplifting Content community, there's that. Jay Shetty has a fantastic community that he's just been launching. So check out his one. Like, people are very active in that group. I saw a really lovely post the other day of 2 people that met in the group and then have met up for coffee. So really awesome humans in that group. And then even things that like dating dating apps, like Bumble, for example, you don't have to do it just for dating. You can also do it just for friendship.
They have like a BFF thing, right?
Yeah, BFFs if you're looking for friends. So I would definitely shout out to some of those. Hey, Kasim. Oh, Kasim says, hey, tell Adam to add me. I run a page called Soulful Poet Society too, and I'm a big Rumi fan. I'd love to use some of his content there and on Educate, Inspire, Change. Connect with Kasim. He's awesome. Hi, Corey. Okay. Sylvia says, I love this page. I love you. Thank you. Anna Nicole says, I've been through tough times in a short span of my life. Life is wasted in many manners, but I have learned to forgive and overcome. Until and unless we learn how to forgive, we can't let go. I have forgiven, and the heart is much lighter than it was ever before. Beautiful. Thank you, Annika. So I put in the comment the descriptions about your book. So let's talk about that now. And then, because what I am so inspired by is your grandfather's ability to forgive after what he went through. And so I'd love for you to kind of summarize that, and then we can touch on these topics of forgiveness that are beautiful.
Absolutely. I'd like to start with one quote. It's a Sufi saying I've heard. It says, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds to the heel that crushed it.
Say that one more time.
Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds for the heel that crushed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, he's remarkable.
Yeah. And I actually I feel like what Aaliyah said, it really ties into this in some way. You know, we're all going to find people in life. It just kind of happens. Sometimes we get upset and we think like, what is it about us that we attracted this person to our life that did this to us or that? And in the bigger picture, I feel like everyone we meet and everything we come across is there. It's shaping us for something greater. So if someone's being a jerk to you, it can be a great reminder of, one, what not to do and what not to be with people, and two, how you can actually be the love in the world and be a huge shift. You know, I feel like sometimes it's the people who have gone through some of the most challenging things, you know, whether it was in their childhood or adulthood, and that tend to be the most loving and caring and generous people. It's not always the people who had it so easy and had everything for them. And tying it to my book, like my grandpa, he's always just been like a huge source of positivity and optimism and love and caringness and generosity for people.
Can you summarize the story just to give people context?
When my grandpa was 6 years old, he was imprisoned. He and his entire extended family, basically what had happened was that my great grandfathers and their brothers and cousins were working with the king prior to this happening.
The king of Afghanistan.
The king of Afghanistan, yeah. Actually, my great-grandfather's brother-in-law is with that king, so I don't know if that makes him my great-granduncle. I don't know how that works, but it's like they're so close friendships, and they were really working to create a new Afghanistan. Here's where it gets really trippy. Afghanistan is the first country that ever in a constitution gave women the right to vote. And it's because of this king. He went the first reforms he made for the country when they won their independence was focusing on giving women rights and equality.
Wow.
And he wanted to he brought a lot of Western ideas to it, but he wanted to integrate everything together. He wanted to integrate the East and the West and then build up the East. So people were everyone's quality of life was better, but ultimately that Afghanistan was run for the people. And because beforehand it's just been a lot of monarchies, that there was it was very self-serving. Anyway, civil war breaks out. I'll give a little spoiler here. You can read it in the very first, like the first 25 pages are dedicated to the history of this. Basically, secret intelligence worked with.
Sorry, my building. Someone's come to fix my toilet.
Oh, right now? That's a unique surprise.
I don't know what to do in this situation.
Are they knocking on the door?
They're knocking on the door right there.
Let them in.
I do. Right, you carry on the story. I'm going to go speak to Tony.
Am I able to see the comments? Oh, let's see. Chat. Nope, I don't see comments. I'm going to go and open up Facebook. If you guys want to send me some messages, I will talk to you.
Carry on telling your story.
Oh, okay. I was just going to Facebook to answer some comments because I can see here. All right. So, anyways, there was a conspiracy that developed that was to overthrow this king. And a civil war broke out. After the Civil War, someone who was working very closely with the king, my great-grandfather, someone who we have literal letters, still 100-year-old letters of them, expressing tremendous gratitude, calling them brothers and stuff. This person betrayed everybody. The king was left in exile. My great-grandfather was in exile. My other great-grandfather was executed.
All right, guys. Sorry, this is really random. Adam, you keep telling the story. I'm going to let Tony in.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll keep telling the story. Anyways, it was a grand betrayal that took place. And in that, everyone who was related to my great-grandfathers, in any sense, anyway, whether it was family or friends, they were all imprisoned. And a lot of the men and the older teenagers as young as 15 or 16 years old, they're executed. So that that's the I'm going to actually open up the Facebook comments because it feels weird to be talking to myself right now. Olio, I hope to read your book. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that is this is really weird to talk to myself right now. Let's just talk to each other. I'm on Facebook right now, so I can see all your comments. I'm going to wait till Ione gets back. Oh, here she is.
Wow.
All right.
Sorry about this, everyone. This is like a completely random thing.
That was perfect.
Apologies.
So this is an entertaining Facebook Live.
This is, who does this? Me.
Everything from faking official Rumi quotes to a toilet guy coming
having my maintenance guy come and fix the toilet. Wow, I apologize. So you told the story of,
so he's in prison at 6 years old. It lasted for 2 decades, but even when he was free, he was not really free. But throughout his time in imprisonment and basically having limited rights, my grandpa in the story discovers what true freedom really is. And then it's really like, I don't want to understate this. It's a very raw book. Everyone, I get messages every day from people who've read it. Some people, just go through it in like a day and a half. Some people, they say like they have to pause. They can't read more than like a chapter a day because of how much depth and intensity there is. But one thing that I committed to doing during the writing process was that I wanted to write this story because I knew somehow, some way that this can inspire greater humanity in the world, a greater, kinder, unified humanity. And I think sometimes when the extreme difficulties that some people have gone through and they still have this soul resilience, and to me the resilience of the soul is being able to, no matter how screwed over you get, how betrayed you get, what happens to you, how many times you get your heart broken, you can always keep loving more. And that getting your heart broken is not that it gets broken, it just gets broken open to more love. And that's basically the theme of what happens throughout my grandpa's life. That's very much who he is, what he lives. I
was speaking about this the other day about how there's 2 options that we have when something goes wrong, when you're hurt or when you're in pain, and that's to build up walls to protect yourself, which means that you can't experience love and connection and all the things in life that we need. Or you can keep opening to those experiences, and it's a choice, and it's a difficult one, because instinctively what I used to do, and I think what a lot of people do, is you just put walls up. I'm not going to allow anybody to hurt me like that again. Whenever they start to show signs of this, I'm going to walk away or whatever, or push them away or whatever. And we do. It's like it's a constant opening up. And the forgiveness, that's what I loved about the story, like how your grandpa forgave and then actually helped some of these people that had played a part in his imprisonment and all that type of thing.
Yeah. Actually, the grandchildren of the very same people who put my grandpa in jail are the same people who my family invites over to concerts and
Wow.
parties, or goes out of their way to help.
Wow.
The same people. And it's like, I know it's, I mean, sometimes it can, when you're seeing a world of red and you're enraged, you could think like if someone's even like a slight acquaintance of someone who you have like this intense charge towards, or even speaks good of them, you can like feel like you want to like, you just don't like him, you want to cut him out, you don't want to talk to him, you don't want to deal with him. But it's I feel like, like we went to, my grandpa and I, we went to the gate experience with Donnie. And it's a really powerful experience. It's really weird. It's cool too. It's a weird cool, but
I'm making my video about my experience now. So Adam introduced me to Donnie Epstein, who is just an incredible man that has an ability that I still can't comprehend. Is he deals a lot with energy and does some really phenomenal things. So Adam had gone with your granddad or your dad?
Yeah. Oh, actually, me and my dad, my grandpa, and Donnie was working with my grandpa while my dad and I were just behind him. And my grandpa was literally, I don't know how to describe it. It looks like some Kundalini kind of blessing. And you can just like, the whole room was brought to tears. There was like 400 people that were just, covered in snot and tears. And he is just sending pure love and blessing to the very same people who imprisoned, tortured him, his family, killed many of his family members. And it was wild. We had his great grandchild, my younger second cousin, is 3 years old, and he was in Boston, Massachusetts. And prior to this session, he was having a lot of muscle spasms, and his parents texted my cousin, who was with me at the event, and said, it's like, Liam's having a lot of issues right now. Do you think it might be related to you guys at the program? And she's like, I think so. After the session was done with my grandpa, they said that there was like a level of peace and clarity in their child that they had never seen before. And like everything was good, and he was like totally cool and clean. And this is like another thing I can't really explain, but I've experienced it in depth throughout the entire experience of writing the book. And all I know is that if you're focused on doing something that's going to benefit you or someone else, not just them on an individual level, but your entire lineage, multiple generations, I really can't describe it other than like there's something phenomenal that happens. And somehow, some way, I mean, we're all connected together. All living systems are connected. It somehow, some way, some sort of miracles happen. Like it's literally me writing the book, what it's done for my entire family, and it's just like everyone's different. It's like it's almost like there was like a density that has been dissipated, and it's just been open. It's like there's like, instead of where there was once a blockage, there's just like flow of energy. That's why I'm trying not to like sound new agey or anything like that. I want to like
new agey.
Yeah, I just try to say it as like as real as I could have experienced it. That's just kind of what happened. And one of the big reasons I wrote this book also is I just wanted to be an example for people that there can be tremendous benefits for you to connect with your elders. And if your elders if your grandparents are no longer here, I feel like if you just connect with anyone who's an elder, there's so many elders that nowadays here in the US and a lot of the Western world, there's senior homes. And I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard something like the average grandchild spends 20 minutes a year with their grandparent.
Wow.
And that's probably not depth. That's probably just a high here. This usually grandparent maybe like given this gift or something small. But I feel like if you get to know your roots, you know, people talk about epigenetics. What our grandparents have experienced, their experience of the world was carried on to the same sperm in the egg cell that went on to make our parents, that went on to make us. And so, you know, I think, you know, anyone who's seeking to heal, I feel like rather than just starting at you, go like a few generations back and really get to know your roots, really get to know what they went through, because we're all conditioned. It makes sense as a species to get conditioned on what life looks like and how your experiences of it. So you know that your offspring, I mean, not on a mental level, like just like a pure instinctual reproductive level, so your offspring can survive in the world, because the first goal of life was always just to survive, and then it was to share information and grow. So
lovely. There was a question that popped up which was, is it possible to forgive everyone?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't think forgiveness should ever be forced. I think if you're truly angry and you try and forgive, oftentimes when we do that, we're just trying to avoid being angry. And if you avoid being angry, there's a lot of bad things that can come from one, just neglecting any kind of emotional experience. But one, because anger helps activate the immune system. And if you can just experience it, a lot of times emotions, like it's only like a few seconds or a minute. But if you just hold on to the thought of it and you're like, I'm pissed, they did this, the thoughts are just there to make sure you don't feel the emotion. If you feel the emotion, you can't think. You're just like, rah, and you're like throwing this and that. And then it's like, oh, that's how everyone feels after they just like let it go, you know? So I think be with whatever you experience. Forgiveness just comes naturally, you know? Like my grandpa wasn't sitting in jail, you know, seeing his older brother die of tuberculosis, and then his cousins, and like hearing about the news of his older teenage cousins get executed. He wasn't like there like, oh, I forgive you. He was thinking you know, he's pissed. He's really angry. They're all angry, but they're more stricken by grief than anything. And so he's grieving and he's angry. And instead of trying to fight, because there's no way he's going to win this fight if it's a forced fight, he chose to focus every single day, every single minute on learning. And because of that, he literally left prison as if he left with a PhD in literature and philosophy. He learned 6 languages, learned to read, write, and speak 6 languages fluently. He learned thousands of poems, thousands of Rumi, of Hafiz, Sadi, Bedil, learned all the great philosophies from the great philosophers, Nietzsche, Goethe, Schiller, Tolstoy, you know, read Shakespeare. He was just consumed in all of this every day, like for like, you know, 12, 14 hours a day. You know, there's entrepreneurs like Gary Vaynerchuk inspires a movement of people like work 16 hours a day. He's in jail, he can't work, so he's learning 16 hours a day. You know, he just made the most of it. So he instead of dwelling on it, he used all that emotional resource, because anger is just another type of resource, as fuel to become more. And I think that's the first step. And then after he was out, after he went on to live on his life, he had opportunities where he could go and help other people. And, you know, when he saw that he could help someone that was actually directly related to the same king that imprisoned him, there was no hesitation. He's like, she's an old woman. She didn't do anything to me. I'll help her. It's like, he did something to me, but there's no point in me, you know, no point in me being angry or doing something bad to them. It's like, that's just going to burn me. They say anger is like poison in the vial. It burns the vial, not because it's closed up. You know, I forgot the exact way to say it.
I quoted this the other day, and somebody jumped on it and found the quote for me. It's like, or it's something like, it's like drinking a poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yes, there
having
you go.
Like anger and resentment or something like that. Yeah.
So but, it burns inside you first.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The anger point that you made is really great. When my experience at Donny Epstein's events was talking about that, making me realize that I held on to anger. I was never allowed to express or show what was going on. And so I held on to everything. And he said, if you continue that, he says, I see this type of energy in people who are cancering, which is a little bit scary. And it was like, if you don't work on releasing this anger and you continue to hold it on, it will make you sick. And so then I was just like, I don't want to be somebody that, is provoked. And then I'm like, rah! I don't want to be that person. I'm like, have control over yourself. But what I learned from it is, it's not about, it's not like somebody says something to me and I lash out and start punching people and going nuts. It's about feeling the feeling of anger and experiencing that feeling of anger, allowing it to flow through me. And then usually it does dissipate and it goes, but not resisting it or ignoring it.
Yeah, I've been there with Donnie, and heard him ask people who had cancer, would you rather be angry? I don't know. He said, would you rather die or be seen as an angry, vindictive bitch?
He asked me that.
He asked my cousin that. Okay, my cousin had cancer. And she said, I don't want to be angry and vindictive. He said, that's why your body's not able to fight off this cancer.
That's what I said when he asked me that. I said the whole, the vindictive bitch thing. But the thing was, it's like, because for me, like, death is inevitable, right? But then I guess, would you rather? Obviously, I wouldn't rather die. And so that's kind of concerning because that was my
because I think the question, the way he geared it up is like, do you have a concern for your life or are you more concerned about fitting into some sort of societal quote that it's not okay for you to express anger? Because I don't really know how that happened, but like, because some cultures are freely expressive anger, like they say like Latin fire or like the Middle Eastern fire. But then like others are just like, it's like, no, you got to be like, but yeah, that's.
Well, Adam, this has been wonderful. That was our time.
Oh wow! Okay.
I know. Annika has given some great points. Adam's not able to send it. I think you're based in India, Annika. So what I'm going to do is give you our Uplifting Content, access to our Uplifting Content Summit, so that you can have access to that and listen to Adam's awesome chat on there. Tamika, congrats. We're going to send you a copy of the book. Who else did we say? Andrew, what's up? You're going to get a copy of Adam's book.
Number 2.
Yep. And then who else was it that we were saying? But he's got them waiting there lined up.
I got them here.
Robert N. April Banks. There you go. That's the third one. I've got to make, like, I have to go back and make a note of this. And then there was one other person that we were saying, pick a person. Let's go for Georgie. What's up? There we go. That's all 4. Did I say 4? I'll have to go back and do them. I will message everybody and get them sent out.
And there's a special note in there.
Oh, bless you. So you've got a lovely special note awaiting you guys. Adam, it's always a joy. We need to see each other soon. Yeah.
I got your copy too.
Oh, yes. I can't wait. Yeah, I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And I will see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everybody.